Good morning and namaste, my friend. Welcome to Namaste today in the Zodiac weather. My name is Stepº Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy. I'm here to stand in my heart and walk in the light. It's such a pleasure to light walk with you today. I'm love casting live in 5 dimensions on this beautiful temple of Gaia on Thursday, March 5th, 2015. And today is going to be a breakthrough day. That's why I've chosen this beautiful cherry blossom theme today. We're going to blossom today on a very private, inner, quiet, spiritual level. Today, step 14 rules the day. Now, step 14 is a reframing. We reframe at this step. There are 11 steps to Sirius joy, and then after step 11, there are more steps. Step 14 is where we reframe. And what we're doing here is we are reframing our emotions, reframing our mind around a new set of emotion. That's basically what it is. So we might have framed our life around feeling afraid, and now we want to frame our life around feeling happy, I believe. Easier said than done, admittedly. And today we're doing it on a spiritual level, but with the way consciousness grows on its own, and that's what the 11 steps teach, is exactly how it does grow and in what order. We are planting the seeds in a very deep way for what will come up. So today what we plant will be what crops up in Aries and Taurus and grows through the summer in the northern hemisphere. Anyways, it's summer up here. But before we dive into reframing ourselves, I think let's first tame our brain, shall we? With the phrase of the day. I am willing and able to reframe my thinking. And so it is. We want to tell the smartass, hey, we're going to be prepared for a change. Be prepared. I'm willing and able. I'm open to reframing, especially if I'll be happier, especially if life will be better, especially if this pressure or this ickiness will go away. So I'm willing and able to reframe my thinking, and so it is. I thought so. And hold that thought and that intention today. Remain open to yourself. Remain open to looking at it from a different emotional perspective. And perhaps the easy way to do this is my shoes, their shoes. You know, today if you just practice trying to feel what it would be like to be them, feel what it might be like to be in their shoes, and then frame your mind around that, that alone will give you kind of a perspective of the sacred geometry of that consciousness. You'll see the whole sacred geometry, the whole shape. You'll understand the shape. And then once you understand the shape, you know, you start applying it and see if it fits in holes inside of you, you know. And that's kind of how I've always kind of worked with consciousness. So we want to be able to reframe our thinking, and that really is for our benefit, but perhaps it'll be for someone else's too. And if we reframe our thinking, we might see a way out of our old paths. And so it is. I thought so. So the Sirius step today is step 14. This is actually a Mercury-ruled day. 1 plus 4 makes 5. You'll see that in the next slide. But Mercury is also the Gemini consciousness. This is the intellectual consciousness. And this consciousness works in pairs. All right? So today we take our I manifest, what we're manifesting right now, which is a new spiritual faith, a new subconscious faith in us. As we go through the full moon today, we do the final release of what's holding us back. And I think that release is part of today's reframing. What's happening is our I belong consciousness is changing. Our mind used to believe it belonged around these feelings. Now our mind is saying it belongs around those feelings. And this is really how you'll see the architecture of incarnation works. Thoughts are too linear to get things flowing on earth. What makes things flow is emotion and passion. And so when we have critical moments, the joint of the consciousness, that is the flexible part, is the emotional part. And with belonging, our belonging is an emotional thing. We feel we belong there. I belong next to that person. I belong there. I belong, you know, over here. So today, really, it's about standing on who you are and then letting yourself feel where you truly belong. And then once you are arrived at the feeling destination, frame your mind around that. Tell the smartass, hey, take notes. This is the new reality, and so it is. And that's how it all begins, my friend. Let's take a look at these chakras and the colors involved today. We are high up in our crown chakra right now. Step 7, Pisces, is the crown, the final membrane layer, if you will. before the rest of the universe, before Pluto, and before the rest of anything in consciousness. So it's the final before the dividing line of the consciousness. This is why our psychic energy comes through here. This is why our higher sense of the rest of the universe comes in through here. But when we bring in the I belong consciousness, we also bring in more crown. This is the part of us that knows where we belong in the framework of what's manifesting beneath us. So this is the consciousness that ties the crown to the rest of us. And then we're actually going to do some thinking today, all right? And this thinking, where we end up with I think, in the end, our mind changes here, and that is actually a gut thing, a third chakra thing. So your gut may feel pulled, and you definitely want to listen to your gut, particularly as it relates to when you're thinking. Thoughts and emotions come together there, I think, for a reason. So it's all about yellow and purple today out there in the playground. Now let's take a look at the clock and the timing of things. Well, folks, we are strumming along here, and we've got quite a party going on today due to the full moon, which actually apexes during the day. Let's start, though, with the sun. We're at step 14 of Pisces. Pisces in step 14 is where we respond differently, we belong differently to a new equation. So we're going to emotionally belong somewhere else at the end of the day, or somewhere else the next 24 hours. And the sun is kind of leading this charge. That's our heart. But there are other planets also at step 14 today, or at step 4, also asking for us to rotate around where we belong. First, though, let's talk about that full moon. That full moon is a tug-of-war between our hearts, the sun, and our feelings on Earth. So the moon is conjuncting the Earth. So we feel very much, this is probably the moment where we feel the farthest from God. God is the sun, our warmth. This is where we feel the farthest. This is where the moon is the farthest, so to speak, energetically, at least how it feels. And we're caught between our feelings, and we're caught between that and our heart, okay? And that's the tug-of-war going on, ultimately, in the full moon. Technically, the moon should be on the other side of the Earth here in my graphic, as I'm realizing, the scientist to me. So this tug-of-war today is muddy. And Black Lilith is there, right next to the Earth. So what that means is right over there is some big fear, some big chasm that we could fall down into any second. So we've been around that fear. It's not new to us. I think we've been working through it and releasing our anxieties around that fear. But here we are making babies, making a new reality with fear right there, right? So it's time to move forward. And it's all in the step 14. It's all in feeling like you belong somewhere else than where you are. So today it's time to feel I belong somewhere else. Now, as the full moon apexes through the day, you're probably very much feeling the Earth you have lived on thus far, which everyone is not satisfied with. I'll just tell you right now. I've not met an Earthling who says it's perfect. I'll tell you right now. So we're all in some sort of mud. By the end of the day, the shift is we say, oh no, I emotionally belong over there in that mud, not this mud. I want to be in that mud, which is probably further away from Lilith, further away from the pain, which is absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. And so in our acceptance that we don't feel we belong in this part of this feeling, and we feel we belong in that part of that feeling, that's where the step 14 makes the 5. That's where, by feeling we belong somewhere else, our mind now reframes our life around that new territory, around that new consciousness. And we let go of whatever it is that we were thinking about and obsessing about in the old emotional territory. This is where the mind gets very confusing, because the mind would have you think that what it thinks is what is, but that's not true. What the mind thinks is what it has surveyed and what it has been brought to. Brought to by what? Our feelings. Our feelings are what bring us places, and that's why it's our spirit in motion, emotion. So the mind will feel crazy, will think it's crazy if you're doing the right job. Because for that moment, when you're shifting mud piles from this mud to that mud, right, in the muddy Virgo of Earth, it's kind of rich and fun really for a couple of days, right? In that moment, your mind has to let go of the old territory and be carried to the new territory. So in that little spark moment, yes, you will feel crazy or think you're crazy. And like I said in yesterday's show, that's a really good sign things are going well, right? So Mercury himself, the mind, is focused on step 19. What's step 19? Earth. How beautiful. What a symphony. So the mind is thinking about the mud as well. Good, smartass. That's exactly where we want you to be thinking. And Mars, whom I call the dumbass in us, that's our ego. Our ego is ready to jump in the fire pit, man. Mars is on the edge of Uranus, ready to sacrifice itself and be reborn. Of course, that means we need to let go and just let it flow. Venus, his lover, is on the other side of Uranus. Now, you know that's what's going to happen. It's going to have to jump, right, to get the princess. And, you know, she's looking fine, too. And this is kind of where classic biology works, you know. Even in gay relationships, there's a Mars and there's a Venus personality. You'll see it always divides into this. One is more prominent than the other, and this is the electricity that makes all human beings come together. So this electricity is saying, time to rebuild our ego. Guess what step Uranus is at? 14. All right, so reframing of the mind. So the mind is ready to reframe what we think about, or how we think about us as an aggressor or a man or a doer or someone who can't get things done. All right. Now, on the other side of that, Jupiter, which I haven't had the time to build a slide around, is also at step 14. And it's also saying, hey, time to reframe our hearts. So our heart needs to be reframed by the mind. And our ego needs to be reframed by the mind. But wait, there's more. At the top of the grand trine, Saturn is at step 4. Reframe. The reframe belongs step. So Saturn is saying, we're in the wrong religion. We're in the wrong me-ligion. We need to reframe. This is the framework or the sacred geometry of the consciousness going on right now. And just to give you the 2 pink lines, we have Pluto at step 15, which is saying all rules must point to peace. The 5 in that is the mind in step 15. So being mindful of the peace and creating a new rule set, Capricorn. And then the Sun, of course, which is working on our spiritual connection, which is about to cross Chiron, we'll show here in just a minute, which will ultimately heal our heart. So all this crazy dynamic is to reframe, pop us out of the ice cube tray we are in, and plop us into, hopefully, a martini. Now, looking at Aries, excuse me, I'm getting all confused. In Aries, that whole grand trine corner of ego, this is a little bit closer. Mars ready to jump into the fire pit that's Uranus. You either go up or down in Uranus. You're either going to ride that bull and win, or you're going to get thrown off because you weren't ready, and it's a rude awakening to what you have to work on. But we're all going in. We're all ready to jump, and Mars is at step 10. Step 10 is the new foundation, or the diving board, from which we are about to jump. Venus already caught in the grand trine, having fun with all that, and probably making it a little bit easier for us to open up to all these changes with that Venus energy going on inside of there. So looking at the sun, our full moon apex is at around 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's where emotions will reach their most intense. A lot of people fall asleep actually in that and knock out. I'm one of those people. When the energies get that much, I'm just like, oh, bon. At least on the couch for a while. And you can see that the sun is headed for Chiron. We're in the Chiron vortex right now, and Chiron is going to help heal us and clean us and wash our feet in a very Christian sort of symbolism. And then today, later on, we hit step 15. Step 15 around 5 p.m. Eastern. So you can see the full moon climaxes, and a few hours later, we're now mindful of peace. And that will be tomorrow's theme as we take this new 5 mindset and we put it into play. In 15, we now work on the 5 and start using it. And you're seeing how we build a manifest as we go past those 11 steps and on to more. So let's continue with our ability to open up our psychic sensibilities today with the Sensei Sunrise. So this week I'm doing a series on opening up our third eye and our psychic abilities, and these are designed to just lay down the foundation for opening and to help all my fellow citizens out there open up their third eyes so they can compare notes with me. I want to know what you are seeing, and we can talk about it. So today we're going to talk about how to add up what you see. How do you add it all up, especially when you're getting such random images or random sounds or random phenomena, right? How do you add it up? Well, my psychic sensibility number 10 is, I would say, well, the solution will start to resonate. That's the term I always use. Does this resonate with you? And by resonate, I mean, does your heart agree? Yes, my heart agrees. That's one state of awareness. Does the mind not disagree? Stupid smartass, but that's what it needs, to not disagree. Like, the mind won't know, but as long as the mind doesn't disagree, that's pretty much a resonance. Are your emotions calm? Well, if your emotions are calm, well, then you're not hearing anything from the emotional state of awareness that this is not true. Is your body at peace? All right. Except for the Del Taco at lunch, your body's at peace. All right. And here's an important one. Are you ready to act on that information? Knowing that information, would you be ready to act? I'm not saying like right now. I just mean that this is something that makes sense to what you would act on next. If that is it, that's the checklist that the information you have gathered and the way you put it together is adding up. It's adding up, and I think credible, and I would say credible in my psychic eye. Now, psychic sensibility 11. Another point you want to look for is that this information that you've come to, like, I think Spirit's trying to tell me that this, or that this is this, right? Like, so you've come to some conclusion with all of your little ads, all of your little pieces. And so we're trying to see, does it all add up? Well, one of them is, does it fit into your story? Okay. Quite often, what Spirit offers, in my experience, is a surprise twist. So you'll get a surprise twist like, oh, and that's really when I know that there's a surprise twist I hadn't thought of. And that's inspiration. You just know you've been inspired there. But the information that it's leading to is never entirely new. And I mean entirely new in the sense that something in you knew all along, and there's that weird sense that you sort of knew this, but you didn't have proof or put it together before. The other way that information fits in your story is that other intuitives may have reported similar info to you. In fact, there was a time when I had three psychics I hired, and I would call them all three in the same day and ask them all three the same questions, and I would triangulate my answers. And I had good relationships with them, and actually spent money at the time for this. I was just really wanting some triangulation, and I got it. 2 out of 3 would always see the same stuff. I would hear stuff. It would overlap. You couldn't even... It was like I got a full reading out of all 3. So if other intuitives are reporting it, that counts. I mean, I didn't lead them down that path. And the last thing is the information you're receiving parallel to the other information in your life? Like, very seldom do we manifest the right path that is completely bonkers away from what we've already done. In fact, very, very random do we do that. We build on top of what we've been building the whole time, and even though we might be building something else, the psychic information that comes in usually fits within that schema. So that's something you want to look for. Then finally, psychic sensibilities number 12. The information that comes in, when it adds up correctly, it usually will open new doors in your life. And that's definitely a quality you want to look for. So when it all adds up, it goes, wow, I know what to do now. Wow, I feel refreshed. Wow, doors are opening. Doors are opening. So when the information is correct as far as from God and in your best, highest good, you'll find doors open. If your story will be moved forward in any new way, that's a very good sign. If you're left with more questions, that's a very good sign too. So when you have inspirational information, it's like, well, what about this and what about that? It's like, oh, see, now you're just blossoming open. Good sign the information is correct, because this is how Spirit works. It will lead to many more questions. Spirit wants you to keep asking. And if the answer is a question, and if the info answers a question, that's what I'm trying to say. If the information answers a question you've had for a long time, so this is why Roberta didn't, marry me. Like, if it answers one of those deep, soap opera questions in your life, very much likely valid psychic information you can trust. It is definitely all adding up. So look for information opening new doors as a quality of, yes, this is good for me. So in today's 11:11 a.m. in our Sirius Joy Personal Sensei Network, I will text you, what is your smartass up to this lifetime? I can kind of tell from your chart and your numerology. I get this little algorithm for exactly what your mind thinks it's up to. This is one of my reading theories, but my clients have always said or laughed out loud that that was pretty much true. And at 3:03 p.m., on what level does your mind tend to think it's at? So the truth is our mind does think at a certain level. I call it the beginner level, the intermediate level, and the master level. And believe it or not, each level has its problems. The beginning level never sees the top. The intermediate level is always so busy it can't see the top or bottom. And the master level is so on top of it, it forgets to look at its feet. So all the levels of thinking actually have their pluses and minuses. And I'll tell you what level your mind thinks on and what it's kind of focused on today at 3:03 p.m. your local time. And if you'd like to join the Sirius Joy Network, come on down to SiriousJoy.me. We'll have a 30-day option for you to start April 1st for $19.95, and it's fun. You learn about yourself, and I'm with you all day. Give it a try. So that comes to today's telepathy. I'm going to do something very simple. I'm be thinking of a color here. Okay? And the question is, what color am I feeling right now? Is it blue? Is it violet? Or is it yellow? Is it blue? Is it violet? Or is it yellow? I'll have the answer right after this.
Why can't you find love? How long have you really been single? Really? Having trouble finding that special soulmate? I can solve this one. Secrets of Birthdays, now live for purchase. Your love trouble? Over. All that and more at secretsofbirthdays.com.
And welcome back to Namaste today. So the answer to our telepathy of the day, the question was, what color was I thinking of at that moment? And I don't know if you picked up on this, but right there at that moment, a graphic went wrong. It kept up the SiriusJoy.me thing, and it was a yellow graphic, and so my mind was like, no, 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 no. Like, so there was a little tension there, and I don't know if you picked up on it. I was just sharing with you because I thought, hey, this is good telepathy. I think when you connect to people, especially you can connect to their emotions, you can feel stuff going on. So I'm sure a lot of you can feel stuff going on underneath the seams here with Witecki. So the answer was blue. Blue's my favorite color, and I was thinking of my favorites because that brings up my heart. So see if you picked up on that, and see if you picked up on that other little momentary live drama going on in the host. So look at the rock and roll gospel. We are exploring really powerful Pisces musicians, and Pisces are God's service providers to begin with. They're already channeling spirit in a magical way. So when they get together with a musical instrument or a team of people, it's usually pretty amazing. This is one you will definitely be familiar with. Nat King Cole. And Nat King Cole is step 26, Master Pisces. And that's kind of a professional Pisces. He's got that like Capricorn sharpness. Look at him. He's so Capricorn sharp. And that Capricorn sharp is the 2 + 6 makes 8. At the end of the day, he's an 8, a Capricorn vibration of Pisces. But amazing, and this is a song you will love as well. Unforgettable. Who doesn't love this song? So enjoy this, go into the Pisces energy. But before you do, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today and what this full moon is doing to you. Seriously, you know how I spell seriously. What are you going to end up reframing your thoughts around? That's what I believe. And I'm forming this around, in my opinion, Jupiter. With all that energy pointing at Jupiter, at the end of the day, we may let go of some Earth here to go there, but that's because there's a grander scheme with Jupiter expanding our hearts. So reframing thoughts around, starting with the Scorpios. Sunny and social today for the Scorpions, and you are reframing your thoughts around your heart's true wishes for your career and your future. All right, so you're really, really reframing. Used to feel your future was this, now you feel your future is that. That's how I'd reframe it. Step 1, the Leos, sunny and manifesting today in a big way. Reframing your thoughts around your heart's wishes for shining. Now, you may laugh out there for those Leo critics, but when a Leo's deciding where they want to look pretty or where they want to shine and be bright, that's a big deal. They're normally fixed stars and they're considering moving. So go ahead, be real true to your heart. Step 2, the Cancers, sunny and chatty. Reframing your thoughts around your heart's wishes for making money or what is valuable. So it's what does your heart really feel is valuable in life, really? Step 3, the Sagittarius is sunny and professional. But I believe reframing your heart's wishes about your life's real meaning. So what is really meaningful to you at the deepest core? Step 4, the Aquarius is sunny, withdrawn today in the full moon. But I believe reframing thoughts around your heart's wishes about partnership and marriages. That's really what's going on in the background. Step 5, the Geminis, sunny, nesting, and resting today in the full moon. I believe you are reframing your dual Gemini thoughts around your heart's wishes about connecting. So how you wish you could connect, or what you wish you could connect to, and connection is everything to a Gemini. Libra, step 6, sunny and private today in the full moon. Reframing thoughts around heart's wishes for social reputation. So what your heart wishes you were, where you wish you belonged out there in the world, and where you wish it was now, and that's okay. Step 7, the birthday Pisces, sunny and sentimental today, but reframing their thoughts around their heart's wishes about daily life. So what your heart wishes every day would be like. Start with the honesty and then look for where that's possible. Step 8, the Capricorn, sunny and learning, but reframing your thoughts around what you really wish you could trust or not trust. Like, what does your heart really believe it can trust in you, in others, in everything? And, where's that? That's what you want to frame around, is what your heart can trust. Not my mouth right now. Sunny and alert today for the air eye. And you'll be reframing your heart. Oh my God, I can't talk all of a sudden. Maybe someone's doing some little woo on me. Heart's wishes for love and joy at large. Because it's Aries, you're always the purebred of society. So you're reframing your thoughts at the very core, man. The very core, like... really, whether or not you would be a success, whether or not your heart can be great, whether or not your heart can go that far. It's a really, really deep one, and perhaps that's why I was choked up. Step 10, the Tauruses, sunny and heartfelt today. Kind of goofy if you ask me. And we're reframing our thoughts around our heart's wishes for security. So our heart used to wish for security means this, and now I think security in my heart means that. And that means basically where the bull feels comfortable in the pasture. And finally, the Virgos, the step 11, sunny and cool today with all this full moon going on. The moon in Virgo. Virgos are the dirt. They are the cool dirt we hang out with. You are reframing your thoughts around your heart's wishes about inner faith. So it's like, my heart really wants to just have faith in this and not question. Aha! Reframe everything around that. What your heart does have faith in and doesn't want to have to question. That's where the smartest needs to just yield. So, if you are watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. We thank you ahead of time. And of course, if you want to be our friend, come on down to Facebook. You can go down to soulgarden.me. It'll take you straight there. And if you join our email list, I'll send you a good morning email each day when we're live on the air. And coming up on March 28th, I will have the Sirius Joy Camp, where I will, in 4 classes, walk you through every step, and you will get a step chart, a chart of how you step, and you'll see where your missing steps are, and you'll see where your potholes are. It's going to be really cool, and you'll know yourself better than you ever have in just 4 weeks. So come on down to soulmart.me if you like more details. It's extremely affordable, and I'm looking forward to helping people. And we have a new episode of Chrissy Stereo's Maggie Soundscopes, or the Magi Soundscopes. Magi as in the 3 wise men, so to speak, were Magi's, right? And she does this awesome edited musical presentation of the planet. So if you're an astro buff and into that sort of thing, it is in the playlist now, and we thank Chrissy for sharing. And we had a Modern Mommies that was fabulous. The girls and I think, talked for 90 minutes. We went on and on and on, but hey, I think you like that sort of thing. I know you do. We were talking about some intense topics. One of them is the Texas gay marriage ban right now, and the interesting politics around how judges are suddenly saying, no, Supreme Court stuff isn't good enough for me. And I argue that gay marriage is just one of the things that states are doing that with. So fascinating conversation when you get some time to watch. And as always, I thank you so much for showing up and watching Soul Garden. For over 9 years now, we've been serving the Lightwork community, and we are proud to be light walking as of today. We're the Mothership of Light. Come on down anytime. Remember, I love you. Good luck shedding off this old side. Good luck belonging to the new. I'll see you in 24 hours when you have the new framework up. Until then, I love you, and live, love, be.
This is just so ironic.